What's happening, Andy? Here I am joined today by Mitch from GreatAmerica. What's happening, Mitch?
Hey Andy, good morning. Great to see you, man.
Great to see you. Now you are with GreatAmerica, as we just mentioned. You're in a new role, not so new now. A couple weeks ago, a couple months ago at this point, you were part of that reorganization. You got yourself into a new spot. So let's start with that. Let's why don't you fill in maybe if anyone's watching this that's not so familiar with GreatAmerica. I think most people are, but just who is GreatAmerica? What do you guys do? Where are you located? And then we'll get into what are you doing with them in your new role.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you. So, Great America, for anybody who hasn't met us or isn't familiar with us, we're an independent financing provider working predominantly with the office equipment technology, whatever we're referring to that now today, the office equipment space. As our primary, that's where we started back in 1992 and still makes up more than 60% of the business that we're doing today in the channel. Um, we are working with independent dealers primarily, as well as on the manufacturer side of things, trying to find programs that meet everybody's needs. And you're right. So recently here, we went through a little bit of a change in terms of some of our leadership and the way that we're structured. So many people will know Jenny Fisher. Jenny was promoted to a group president role where she's responsible for not only just the office equipment group now, but also our connected technology group. So that's really our office technology um, group as the overall there. And so she'll have oversight of both those units. And with that, I was fortunate enough to be promoted from my managing director role, overseeing marketing, sales, and sales support, into the general manager role now. So my new role is general manager of the office equipment group here at Great America. And that is an update from my prior role, which was managing director, overseeing marketing, sales, and sales support. So moving forward, I'll have full responsibility for the leadership and strategy for our business unit that serves this office equipment channel going forward.
Well, it's very exciting. I've known you for years. We've been hanging out at the same events with the same people for a very, very long time, and it's exciting to see, you get that spot, and it's a great role, and I think you're a great person to be doing it. Congratulations. Um,
I appreciate that. Thank you. And
you're
I also want to
welcome.
let everybody know that Jenny's not going anywhere. She's still here. So I think a lot
Oh,
of
we
people had
know.
questions around that. So I just
We
want to make
know.
sure everybody is comfortable there.
Yep. I'm sure people are very happy to hear that. Jenny's been the
Yeah,
face of Great America for a very long time in this channel. Dealers have known her forever, and her team. So, we're happy to obviously have her continue in her expanded role. And you guys have just been so active in this community. And it's one of the things I think I'd like to talk about a little bit is that makes you special. It's a differentiator. There's a lot of leasing companies out there, and quite frankly, you probably don't always have, you're not the biggest bank, so you probably don't always have the cheapest rates. But there's a lot more to it, right? You set yourself up as I would call you more of in a lot of ways, a partner. You have a lot of other pieces to Great America that support dealers. It's not just a rate sheet like when I was selling copiers, and I'm sure they still use something
yeah,
similar. You had a sheet that had like 36, 48, 72, 60 months, all the different multipliers that you had based on how big the deal was, and
sure.
you'd get your pricing. But we never, back in those days in my role, I wasn't really looking at anything more than that rate sheet. Where are you guys with respect to supporting dealers beyond just that sheet? Like I know couple of the things. I'll let you tell it. Let's talk about what Great America does on the other side of the lease rate sheet. What are some of the offerings you guys do to partner up?
I think the main thing that I always tie back to start with Andy in that conversation is just foundationally. I mean, the company was sort of founded on the idea with Tony's belief that there's a better way to work with partners and truly be a partner. So our customers for life philosophy is something that is started in 1992 and is still very, very much the core and foundational belief here as we support customers in 2024. So with that, we just believe in doing things the right way. We believe in being transparent with our partners who are our dealers to make sure that their customers aren't surprised. And so beyond that, the things that we've really tried to do are just find ways to help our customers achieve greater success. And that's our mission statement here. And that's been very consistent for well over 20 years. So with that has come some great ideas and some things that we've been doing to just try to make life easier. We recognize that they have to work with a financing partner. We feel like if we can be the easiest one to work with, then that will ultimately make them a customer for life for Great America. So a few of the things that we've done is just try to figure out ways that they have to interact with us, right? So how do we make that as easy as possible? And that's included a lot of technology integrations with the CRMs, the ERP providers, CEO Juice on the back end as well. So just trying to figure out how can we pass back and forth information without forcing our customers to really get out of their sort of normal day to day. How do we just become a bigger part of their business and really treat it as a relationship where we feel like we're an extension of their organization? So we've got those things, certainly. Obviously, we've gone down some other paths more formally with a couple of subsidiary investments, one being our Collabrance. So those folks who are in the managed IT world and aren't looking to either buy or build can partner with Collabrance. Then the second piece has really been PathShare HR services. So PathShare, for anybody who doesn't know, does everything from sales training, helping with interviewing and profiling. They do a lot with organizational development. I'm very excited to announce that we've actually now doubled the size of the team going forward. So there's very much been an opportunity for us to continue to invest there based on feedback from existing customers. So anyone who doesn't know Sally and Denise and their group, they're doing some great things at PathShare.
I'm sure everybody, a lot of people know Sally and those guys, and
They
we see
do.
them at a lot of the peer groups, right? And so we'll talk about that in a little bit, where you guys are going to be showing up over the next few months. But before we get to that, I wanted to, spend some more time on the Collaborants and the past share parts of the company. I think that's one of the things, big differentiator, right? We talked about it before. You're not only a bank, you have other things that other programs that you've built over the years to try to support dealers. So Collaborance with managed services is there to help them with their help desk, with their ticketing, with just any areas, as they try to build out their own MSPs, these resellers, these office equipment resellers, let's call them that. As they're building out their own MSP, sometimes they don't, it's hard to do everything at once. And that's when you turn to a Collaborance for some support, for some, some things that maybe you're not ready to build on your own yet, but Collaborance already has built. And then moving over to the PathShare, the thing that we've heard, and we used to do a lot of research. We were a different company, 12 years ago. We were a research company, not as much of a media company. And one of the things we did every year, my dad did in this company, was we did a big study of the dealer community. And the number one issue they had every year, and this is before the pandemic, right? This is 20 years ago, was hiring and retaining. And that's the challenge. And that's not changed over the years. If anything, it's gotten more difficult. And since the pandemic and where we are with the number of people in the let's just say in the work pool community, there's just not as many bodies out there to do the jobs that we want them to do. So dealers are struggling to fill, service positions, sales positions, marketing positions, drivers, just every part of their company. And so you guys have this whole program built around and that's just one component of it, right? I mean, PathShare is more than just hiring and retaining. PathShare, just a great program that helps dealers in a way that, they're probably not getting this help, this advice, this advisory service in any other capacity. Like, I certainly don't know other leasing companies that offer it, but I don't know other companies in our space that are, fully invested in the office equipment reseller that are providing these services. So, now that you're in your new role, and what are some of the things, that you're tasked with, that you're going to be, that you're excited about, that you weren't doing before? That's, what's big news for Mitch now?
Well, thanks for asking. I do have quite a few things that I'm excited about, obviously, and most of it is a continuation, because I don't know if anyone out there hasn't had a chance to meet a number of the folks within our leadership group, but we all work very closely together. So it's really just a little bit of a shift in what role we're playing on the team. So a lot of the same things that I've been involved with going forward, which a big part of that is really educating our customers on things that we have, like some of the services that we've talked about, in addition to some of the other capabilities that we have moving forward. I think one of the big things we've got to continue to stay focused on, and we're already making a pretty sizable investment in, is trying to figure out how the dynamic of our customers' workflow is changing going forward. We've gotten feedback for so many years from our customers of all size, right? They're using a number of different tools and products and softwares that don't necessarily always play well together or communicate or help them create a standardized workflow. So we're doing a little bit of work, particularly with a handful of customers as sort of a beta test to see Are there ways that we can create on our end a better workflow for them that helps pull information and plug information back into their systems as a part of interacting with us going forward? So that's still in development, I would say, moving forward. But really what we're focused on, again, like I mentioned before, is just trying to make it the easiest experience that we can for our customers. The second part, I would say, and also sort of dovetailing off that is, I mean, you've got a little bit different look in the channel today in terms of you've got some very, very large organizations out there with some of the folks that have been doing the consolidation and the roll-ups. And then you've got, kind of a middle group that's 10 million and above. And then you've got another group that's a larger number of customer dealers that are, below the 10 million mark. All of those different groups need to be supported differently. And one of the great things about us not being actually a bank or being bank owned and being independent is that we can be flexible in how we set that up. So anyone who's not familiar, we have sort of a team-based structure where teams support, and when I say teams, everyone from credit through sales all the way through the back end of the process and the interaction, they support customers geographically. So those customers get to know our team members, and those team members get to know our customers. So things just happen and they build a better relationship as they get to know their programs better. We're constantly looking at tweaking what we have in place for a structure, Andy, to ensure that as the industry continues to evolve, we want to support the entire channel. We're not honed in on a certain segment of the channel. We want to make sure that we can support everything from the consolidators through the larger dealers, through the smaller dealers. And that just requires us to think differently because they all have different needs. So that's the second big area that I'm really excited to continue to dig into.
Well, that's one thing that I would say, to give you guys credit, you are everywhere. Your people are everywhere. I mean, if I'm going to a meeting, I'm usually expecting to see someone from Great America,
Yeah.
whether it's a conference, whether it's just a dealer event. That's one of the things I think that makes you guys special is that you spend probably more on travel, and not just the travel, it's the supporting events, right? So you've been a huge sponsor of the Ride for Jillian we do every year, one of the premier sponsors. You guys took over the main sponsorship of ECS, the Executive Connection Summit that Mike Stramalio's group has started doing again after a hiatus of a few years. But you're the lead sponsor of that, the title sponsor. And then I feel like every peer group meeting that I go to, you guys are there either as a head sponsor, a main sponsor, or just somebody else on the list, buying a lunch, buying a dinner. I've had people come out to my little town, Rochester. Key has come out, and some people have come out before we've done lunch out here in the past. And you guys are all over the place, and I love the approach. Nothing to me is better than face-to-face meetings where you guys walk into a dealership, you sit down with the people, you maybe you ride along with the reps, you see the community, right? You guys, you get out there and you sit down with these people, and it's not just a phone call. It's not hey, the new rates are out, right? It's it's back to that relationship selling. We've talked about it, before and on other podcasts as well. It's just, this is a weird channel, right? There's a lot of nepotism. I worked for my dad. There's a lot of family businesses, right? Let's just call them that. It's a better word than nepotism. But it's a different type of channel. People buy on relationships, and you guys have played that game for years, just about as well as anybody. Going forward, there's a lot on the calendar this year. What's on the table for the next few months for you guys? Where are we going to see Great America?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, we've always viewed sort of the industry presence and being involved in all the different dealer peer groups. I've only been part of kind of the office equipment channel for about 8 years now. I've been with Great America 16. But what I've always appreciated is how much investment is being made in so many different areas to continue to make leaders, make organizations, family owned or not, just to try to continue to improve and evolve. I mean, it's so impressive, the sales organizations that are in this channel. It's been really fun to be a part of that more directly. We have been busy. There's no question. I think we've got somewhere between 50 and 60 scheduled events for the calendar year. And just coming off kind of right in the middle, I guess, of a busy spring season. You know how these go.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been Select Dealer Group, CDA in March, just coming off of BPCA. They had a good meeting also last week up in Minneapolis. We'll be at CDA again here later this month. I think it's next week. and then we'll obviously be at the BTA this summer also as well. And there's probably a handful that I'm forgetting, but we feel very fortunate that people kind of expect us to be there, and we can use it as a great opportunity to interact with a number of customers. And I mean, this as well as anybody. We're back in full go mode, right? Since work from home and the pandemic. So just having that time to meet face to face, for me, it's been great to meet a bunch of new customers that I had not met previously. And so I think we'll continue to make those investments because just getting one-on-one time is really hard. People are really busy, and it takes time and focus to really sit down and have a good conversation about driving the partnership forward.
Well, you guys have been, you've been very clever on how you get that FaceTime, and we talked about the ride for Jillian, but last summer, Kim and Jenny and the rest of the Patriots pack, we visited 10 dealers in a week, right?
Yeah.
And we drove in an
Yeah,
RV
you're
together.
busy.
And when we finished that ride at Great America, which was just a perfect finish for it. And this year we're going to do it again. We're going to start up in New Jersey, and I guarantee we'll have a bunch of the Great America people on there. Those guys have vests now, so they'll be
Oh
there.
yeah.
I'm sure. Hopefully, we'll see you at some point along the way. If you're sponsoring some of that, so I would think that you'll be there. But if you're not, I know we'll see you there. And I remember seeing you last year. Where was it? I think I saw you at an SDG meeting. You and Hannah were there presenting. Like, you guys are everywhere. And then Kim and Jenny are at this meeting, and you have a big team. You're all over the place, and it's fun connecting with you. You guys have you have a good time. Dealers seem to just love working with you. I can tell you that. It's just, you're one of those names that comes up, and when you hear dealers talking, I hear a lot of people talk and say very unflattering things at times. And I can honestly say, I can't think of a single time I've ever heard anyone say anything bad about Great America. They just, they seem to like you. You have good people, and you're supportive. That whole point that you made earlier about making it easy to work with, that's a big deal. And that's, I think, if you're good at it, that's a real strength. And clearly you guys, you have something really strong going on. And to see the changes in management and people moving into new positions and getting the recognition yourself and Jenny and some of the others have gotten with these new roles. It's exciting. I think it's it's a fun time in our industry, and it's great to see some of you guys get the recognition I think you deserved. And from the rest of the next few months, I look forward to seeing you guys at all these events.
Yeah, likewise. There'll be a little bit of a summer lull, and we'll be right back into the fall season where things will ramp right back up.
It
But I
will.
appreciate all the kind words, Andy, and certainly, I'm just one of the 700 team members we have here now today, and I think we just have a really great group of people, and we're really focused when we hire and onboard team members that are new to Great America to make sure that they're really focused on customer service, because I think that's one thing that is pretty consistent across our dealer base is they are all service organizations as much as they are sales organizations, right? They care about their customer, and we need to show that we care about them as much as they do their customers. So we'll continue to get better. There's always ways for us to continue to think about improving, but we certainly appreciate all the positive feedback.
No problem. Mitch Leahy, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by on the podcast today. And I am sure we'll be seeing you sooner rather than later. Have a great rest of your week.
Sounds great. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
You too.